morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2012 United Way Volunteer Breakfast. We are delighted to have you here today. We're not going to all introduce ourselves. You just get to see our picture on the screen. So we are delighted to have all of you here today to hear about the great volunteerism that goes on in our community and to accept some awards. I also want to do a special thanks to Rockwell Collins. I see you have several tables here. Rockwell Collins has been our sponsor for volunteerism for many years. They were instrumental in helping us get our volunteer center started right after the flood. So to Cindy Dietz and all of the Rockwell Collins people who are here, thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. And also for all of you technology folks in the audience, if you have your phones and do any tweeting, we would also ask you that if you want to go on Twitter and send a message, please feel free to use the Volunteer Rock hashtag. I know some of you know what that means. I don't. And it's a pleasure also to welcome you and to honor some of our volunteers. So let's get started. Rex, wait a minute. I'm not quite done yet.
Say that again?
I'm not quite done, Rex.
Well, you need both these microphones? For God's sake. I found this in the hall on the way in. You see, it's Horizon's Meals on Wheels. And I know Bob, your husband, is retired, and you aren't home much.
That's true. That's true.
So he said he could use some of these. These are Meals on Wheels there.
Okay, I'll take that
right?
home. That's good.
I just found it out here.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
There was some other stuff in here too.
And you know, there's about 200 volunteers that deliver Meals on Wheels in our community.
250. I just heard the lady say that. True.
It is.
And there was a paintbrush in here. Does that have any significance? We paint houses, right?
We do. We do.
And Bob helps with that?
Bob could help.
Yeah,
but we have many volunteers with the chore service, aging services, who go out and help with homes. And
speaking of Rockwell, this is a picture. We should have an overhead. This is an overhead. You see that? The kids in the audience don't remember overhead. Trust me, Gullickson, right? Yeah. Anyway, this is a ramp they built for elderly people. They're engineers, I presume?
Yeah.
Rockwell has a few of those, I presume, too.
Absolutely.
That's in here. That's kind of cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I agree.
Then there's this shirt on Days of Caring, you know, where you got hundreds of volunteers that do lots and lots of projects, right?
Right.
That was in here.
And there's a lot of paint on this one, so we know
it's been used.
It's been used. And about 1,000 volunteers are going to go out and do our Day of Caring on May 10th this year.
And here's a note. There was a note in here from one of the little brothers or little sisters to somebody. Said, thanks for stopping by each week and helping me read the book I was struggling with. So see you next week. So that's in there.
Yeah, lunch buddies.
Yeah, lunch buddies.
And Big Brothers, Big Sisters, lots of folks who are out there.
I hate to interrupt, but I just found that.
Well, since you're here already, Rex, and you are one of the master volunteer people in our community, why don't you stay and share a few thoughts about volunteerism? Okay?
Thank you. Two microphones. This reminds me of a press conference, for God's sake. They always made me nervous. Thank you. Lois volunteered me for this gig, so I'm going to do the best I can. And I first of all like to congratulate all of you who are here, because I assume almost everybody in here is either a volunteer or has volunteered. And I think that's terrific. And there are a lot of business people in here who encourage their employees, and that's important too. I thought in the big picture I was supposed to speak about volunteerism, and so I thought, well, what can I say that you haven't heard? And maybe not anything, but volunteerism is one of the things that struck me. If you think about things in the world you can do or we do, in our lives every day, and everybody does, there's usually an upside and a downside. You agree? I mean, you think, well, this will be good, maybe this won't be so good. Volunteerism, when I thought about it, is one of the few things that I couldn't think of a downside. If you think about volunteering, it's all has to do with helping somebody and good. Now, then I thought, well, there is an exception. If you've ever been in the United States military, what you shouldn't do is volunteer. I'll tell you how that works, because I was naive as a young person in the military. It ends up with you cleaning up the grease pits in the mess hall at 5:30 in the morning with a grown person yelling at you the entire time. So if you're in the military or been in the military, don't volunteer. It never ends up well, I'll tell you that. But volunteering, and I looked this up, the internet's a wonderful thing. I looked it up. And there are 11 definitions of volunteering. I didn't think it was that complicated, but the one I like the best, it says to enter into an offer or offer any service of one's own free will without solicitation or compulsion. And I thought that's appropriate. There are three things that come to my mind when I thought about volunteering. One of them you don't think about much, and it has to do with the word free in the definition. Volunteerism is a great economic engine in this community. Thousands of people volunteer in this community every day at one of our not-for-profit agencies. There are over 40 of them. And you want to put a number to it. I'm involved now with the free clinic, and we keep pretty good data on lots of things. But last year, the free clinic, one of only about 40 volunteer groups, had 32,000 plus hours of volunteerism, all the way from greeters to doctors to dentists to pharmacists to nurse practitioners to clerical people. The value of that, based on a fair market assumption, that doesn't count services, this is per hour value, was over $1.4 million. Think about that. One agency, one group of volunteers. The value, economic value, is about $1.4 million. Without those volunteers, that clinic would not certainly exist the way it is today and may not exist at all. So that gives you the idea of the economic power of volunteerism. So don't think of yourself as just somebody that shows up. You are part of a great economic engine. Secondly, I thought about what it does for the volunteer themselves, that being us. And there are days that I volunteered and gone home and think, I got more out of this than the people I was trying to help or work with. My volunteer career come about 20 years ago. My current wife, Kathy, over here, she's been current for about 40 years now, set me down one evening. Occasionally we have adult beverages in the evening, and proceeded that evening, and I'll never forget it, to tell me that I was a one-dimensional person, that my car knew the way to the office and the way to the airport, and I needed to do something else in addition to that with my life. I think she said it was thinking I was boring at the time. So I thought about that, so I started volunteering, and I started actually with the University of Northern Iowa. About that time, asked me if I would join their board. And that's what started me, and I learned the way to Cedar Falls. And then I got involved in United Way, and my car learned the way to United Way. Then with American Diabetes, my car knew the way to both hospitals, and now with the free clinic. United Way, when I was the chair of the campaign, I went to every agency and talked to them. And I was absolutely amazed at the passion of their mission and how they undertook that. So my car now knows the way to lots of places. But what the message I got from that, it made me a better businessman. You say, how that worked? It broadened my horizons. It enlightened me. I started thinking about all our employees, and you had single parents. You had employees that helped their aging parent. You had people with disabilities show up for work every morning on time. And I become to realize that they were doing all that under a great deal of stress sometimes, and what an amazing person they were, people they were. And I went to our managers at the time. In my former life, I worked out at Aegon Transamerica, whatever name they got now, okay? I started with Life Investors. I'm a dinosaur, but I went to our managers and I said, we need to encourage anybody who wants to volunteer. So we started really working on that at Aegon Life Investors Transamerica at the time. And I noticed it made a big difference in our employees, and some of our best employees were our best volunteers. So if you're a business person out there, I say encourage your people to volunteer. You will have better people. You get more out of it sometimes than the people you're trying to help. And the last thing that I thought about volunteering that is so important, is why we really all do it. It's about the people we're endeavoring to help. And I'm going to read you a definition. This is the definition: a desire of some good accompanied with at least a belief that it is obtainable. A desire of some good accompanied with at least a belief that it is attainable. The definition of that is the word hope. If you think about it, from the time you can remember and I can remember, we grew up with hope. I hoped that I'd get to go to Grandma's house because she had cookies and cake and she'd give me some. I hoped that the girl sitting next to me in 9th grade would like me. She was cute. She liked the 11th grade football captain. You hope that you get into the college or the school or the community college you wanted to. You hope that you'd get a good job. You hoped you'd meet the right person. You hope that your kids would do well. Think about it. That is the most basic human emotion. And what we deal with as volunteers generally are people, for whatever reason, who don't sometimes have much hope. And when you don't have that last word in there, that you get, as I read it, a belief that it is obtainable. When your hope isn't obtainable, then it becomes desperation, and that becomes a very bad thing. So what you do and we do as volunteers is give people hope that some of their desires, think about not having that. Think about the kid who wants to play soccer, but his folks or his mom or his dad have no money, no way to get him there. Think about not having that hope. That is really devastating. And that's really, really what we give, is hope. So, in conclusion, how am I doing on time? They even had cue cards here. Hold those cue cards up. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, they had a 30-second cue card. Do you believe that? In my former years, that was like putting the bull in the red cape. But so, whatever you do in volunteering in your life, you give people the most basic thing. You're helping them have hope that cracks open a door that whatever they want to do might be obtainable. And sometimes they walk through that door and they become a more productive citizen or person, and it's just fantastic. So that's really about volunteering, and I think that is so important to all of us and to our community. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge, that everybody in here this year knows somebody who isn't volunteering, family, friends, somebody you work with. I challenge you to try to get them involved in being a volunteer. It will make them a better person. It will make this community a better place. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to... They have a script, too. I'm not very good at that either. But I'm going to welcome to the stage John and Brian to do our first award for volunteerism. Gentlemen.
Well, good morning. This is like the Oscars a little bit with these microphones, Rex. I think that's what you were missing out on, as being in Hollywood there maybe. But it is our honor to announce today's first award. But before we do, we wanted to let you know how the process occurred that the winners were selected. And also, I'd like to let you know that I think it's wrong that I have to wear these things with contacts at the same time. Community members had time to nominate individuals during February, during which time 41 nominations came in. And then the United Way Court Committee selected the finalists. I had the pleasure, challenge of being a part of that group. Just such an amazing group of volunteers we have in this community. It's difficult to shrink down to the finalists that were then put on the United Way website, and a public poll was conducted to determine the winners. And we would just ask that as the winners are announced throughout the remainder of the morning, that they do come up on stage.
You know, Brian, we're the luckiest presenters up here this morning because the youth of our community is our future. And now on to presenting the nominees for the Outstanding Youth Award. They are Kathy Schlegel for her work with Linn-Mar High School Best Buddies, Kirsten Flugum for her work with Young Parents Network, James Jewelson for his work with Bridgehaven Pregnancy Support Center, and the winner is, it's just like on the real television. Volunteer of the Year Award in the category of Young Volunteer presented to Kathy Schlegel.
Katie takes time out of her day, during school hours and outside of school, to spend time helping students academically and building friendships and relationships. Each day she works with kids on everything from math and reading to social skills and daily living skills. Congratulations, Katie.
Okay, hi, I'm Katie, and I work with the special needs people, and it's such a great honor that people like in my classroom and everyone that volunteers at our school gets recognized for their work, because it is so inspiring to go down there, and I think they help me and make my day better more than I go down there and help them and make their day better. So I'm very excited. Thank you.
Good morning. The next category we have is Adult Volunteer. The nominees for Outstanding Adult Volunteer are Brad Baldwin for his work with Junior Achievement of Eastern Iowa, Ron Lower with his work with the March of Dimes Iowa Chapter Board, and Lisa Ackman for her work with the Young Parents Network. And the winner of the Volunteer of the Year Award in the category of Adult Volunteer is presented to Lisa Ackman, volunteer with Young Parents Network.
Lisa is the facilitator of the Newborn Moms Group for the Young Parents Network. On Thursday evenings, Lisa teaches curriculum to the parents so they can learn healthy parenting skills. She also educates parents of newborns about the development of their child. Congratulations, Lisa.
I am overwhelmed. This is not in my element. I started volunteering, I'm not for sure how many years ago, but I was led to volunteering through my church. And I agree with Rex. I feel like I gain more than what I give, helping out with small group. But thank you, and thank you, United Way, for recognizing everybody and acknowledging us. And this is just, it's a surprise, and thank you.
Our next category is the Senior Adult Volunteer Award. And our nominees are Henry Davison for his work with the HD Youth Center, George Young for volunteering for Horizons Meals on Wheels, and Dick Panache for his work with Writers Club of Cedar Rapids. Isn't it appropriate? I'm qualifying all over town as a senior adult these days. And our senior adult outstanding volunteer winner is Henry Davison with HT Youth Center.
Henry founded the HD Youth Center in 1997 when he saw a need to offer kids a safe and supervised building. The center also provides free hot breakfast to the homeless and those in need. The center was flooded in 2008, but Henry has continued to volunteer and is helping to finish the new location on Mount Vernon Road. Congratulations, Henry.
Good morning to all. Oh, that's so weak. Good morning to all. That's better. I love you for that. Okay. I want to say thank you all that voted, who didn't vote and wanted to vote. Okay, that's good for me. We are going to take the funds that you've given to us, and we are going to get the kids back off in the streets in a building whereby they will have some place to go when they're not in school. I'm very concerned about that because of the fact that a lot of children are getting in trouble because they have no place to go. We need to get together now and get a place for them, and we have one. However, we need to put computers and stuff, since everything is getting high tech. And to put computers in there, we are going to need some type of security. And I anticipate on putting this money to get the security to keep the bad folks out as much as possible. I'm going to be there a lot of times. Believe me, because I want to see you when you steal my stuff. So once again, thank you, and keep up the good work. Bring the checks on. I got a pen, you just bring them, okay?
We have some amazing individual volunteers in our community.
We also have some great volunteer groups that are hard at work.
Our nominees for Group Volunteer Award are
Junior League of Cedar Rapids for their efforts with Foundation 2's Achieving Maximum Potential program.
Metro High School for their efforts with the Horizons Meals on Wheels program.
And Youth Involved with their work with the Red Cross.
And the winner is
Volunteer of the Year Award in the category of Group Volunteer presented to Metro High School Volunteer with Horizon Meals on Wheels.
Twelve students and 2 teachers from Metro High School deliver up to 40 bags of groceries for Meals on Wheels each week to senior clients who live in the school's neighborhood. Twice a week, the volunteers provide their own vehicles and gas and independently load and deliver all of the groceries. Congratulations, Metro High School.
Thank you very much. This is an incredible honor, and it is greatly appreciated by Metro High School. Lynette Richards and I are the ones who are currently delivering Meals on Wheels with our group of students, and they dearly love it. It's one of the highlights of their week. But we did not start working with Horizons. The 2 individuals who started working with Horizons are standing up here as well. Well, one's not. He's being shy. But Paula Myers-Pino, when she was a student at Metro High School back in 1999, said to Jerry Nelson, I think we need to do something to help the seniors in our community. And that was when we started volunteering for Meals on Wheels. So it's been a long time connection, and we've switched from doing hot meals to doing breakfast bags. But it is an incredible thing, and our kids love it, and thank you, all of you.
What a great group of people here today, and congratulations to all the winners so far. I would just say one thing, that I think Rex is still one-dimensional. He doesn't work anymore. Now all he does is volunteer, but I am proud of him for that. So,
my current wife, see what I did?
Our category today is business, and it's the final category. And it's the nominees are Colony Heating and Air Conditioning for their work to help promote home safety for older adults, and Cargill and their efforts with the Meals on Wheels program. And the winner is?
The winner is Cargill for their work with the volunteers for Horizons Meals on Wheels.
Since 2007, Cargill employee volunteers have delivered meals in the neighborhood near the company's corn mill 1 day per week. Each employee volunteer provides a nutritious meal, a safety and security check, and a few minutes of socialization for older, homebound adults. Congratulations, Cargill.
It's really rewarding for us in the corn plant to be able to deliver Meals on Wheels throughout our neighborhoods. It was great to be able to be a part of it. Tricia Miller and I are the coordinators for the group in our corn plant. It's really rewarding to go in and visit with all the people within our neighborhood and tell them about our plant, and as they're curious about what we do, and just to do some checks with them and be there for them on certain days. So thank you very much.
Since I so rudely interrupted Lois at the beginning of the morning, Lois, you can now have a free shot at me, okay? Lois Bunce, the director of United Way.
Well, thanks, Rex and Kathy, and Rex can interrupt me anytime he wants. They have been great partners for us in the community, and we really appreciate everything that they've done. Also, a big congratulations to all of you who volunteer on a day-to-day basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and especially to our winners today. We really appreciate all the time and energy that you put into this community, and I know the work in the nonprofit sector would not be possible without you. I think we have 66,000 volunteers that we track, and I know many of you and your companies track volunteerism that we're not even aware of. So thank you so much. Also, we want to just give you a little preview. We have been working with a technology developer, a person by the name of Carl Becker, and he has developed an app for us. Everybody know what an app is? It's a thing on your iPad, iPhone, whatever, for volunteerism. And we're going to roll a little video and show you a little bit about it. We are waiting for final approval on this. This will be the first app on an iPhone for volunteerism in the United States. We've done it right here in good old Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and so once we get final approval, you'll be able to download it and use it. So I think we're going to roll the video.
Searching for local volunteer opportunities just got a little easier. United Way has a new volunteer app. Download the free United Way volunteer app and search and register for local volunteer opportunities, all from your iPhone or iPad. Fill out the form on your table to receive the volunteer newsletter for details on the volunteer app and various volunteer opportunities.
Isn't that great? it just shows you the entrepreneurship and the creativity we have right here in our community. We're sending out some of our staff to the United Way National meeting in Nashville in about 2 weeks, and I know we're going to be talking about this, and my guess is we're going to have a lot of United Ways calling us about our volunteer program and asking, you know, how can they get connected with this. So we're very, very proud and excited about that. Also, for all the winners, you do get a $500 donation courtesy of a great sponsorship from Rockwell that you can use and donate and give to a charity of your choice. And Henry, it sounds like you got plans for yours. So go, Henry. But you can use that in whatever way you want to give to whatever charity you would choose to. So we really appreciate that. Also, if any of you do want to volunteer and you aren't right now, you can definitely go on our website. We have a button you can click there about volunteering. Obviously, you can do the old method and call our office too. But there are many, many ways to get involved, and we have literally thousands of opportunities for you. So take Rex's challenge seriously. Get somebody involved who isn't volunteering, even if it's an hour, you know, just 1 hour this next year. It'll make a difference in our community. So I think that concludes everything for today. Thank you for coming. Please eat some more breakfast if you haven't. Enjoy, congratulate the winners, and go out and volunteer. Thank you.